Hi, this is A.J.B from A.J.B Counseling and Psychotherapy, and today's topic is beware of cyclotherapy. What is cyclotherapy? Well, it's not as terrible as it sounds. It's kind of synonymous with supportive counseling. There's nothing wrong with supportive counseling. I don't mean to knock supportive counseling, but most people that go into therapy, they go into it because they have a main goal in mind. I'm depressed. I want to cure my depression. I'm anxious. I want to fix my anxiety. I'm lonely. I want to address my loneliness. I'm this or that, low self esteem, you name it, right? Psychotherapy, supportive counseling, is when the client or perhaps you go into therapy week after week, day after day, and you just talk about your day to day business, right? So you might say, Bob at the office is such an a hole. I can't stand him. And you talk about Bob and how annoying he is. Meanwhile, in the background, you still got the depression eating away at you or the anxiety that's eating away at you. There's a pattern that's underneath that's not being discussed. That's what psychotherapy is. It's when we in therapy, because it takes two to tango. It takes a client who likes to focus more on the day to day, and then it takes a therapist who enjoys the easy job. Because you know what? There's nothing easier than me sitting back and having you talk about the same stuff day after day. Your week, because I don't have to think much. It's just me supporting you. It's probably the easiest thing I could do. So it takes two to tango. It takes a client who is avoiding and a therapist who doesn't doesn't feel like dealing with challenges. So try to avoid this the best you can. So you as a client, you have your own responsibility. Of course, you can pace yourself. That's not that's I don't mean to imply that you shouldn't pace yourself. If you've had enough, feel free to just focus on something that's not too heavy. But be careful that you don't end up doing psychotherapy, that you don't end up focusing on the day to day. I know that a lot of times the day to day can seem like it's pressing. I have to address this now. But if that's all you do, right, that stuff is always going to be there. That day to day stuff is always going to be there no matter what. Whether you're in therapy or not, that stuff is going to be there. If you and your therapist continue to focus on that day to day stuff, the bigger theme stuff is never going to get fixed. Now, some responsibility also falls on the therapist. So I don't mean to say this in any kind of like a blamey way. It's just a phenomena that happens. By the way, I didn't invent this phenomena. I got this from a very famous therapist. His name is Arvin Yalom. He wrote about this concept and he warned therapists about this concept. So it takes two to tango. I was gonna say that it's also the responsibility of the therapist to make sure to monitor, to pace the sessions. That's what I do, at least in therapy. I try to pace it. Sometimes when I feel like we've pushed a bit, maybe too much or hard in an uncomfortable direction that was necessary, perhaps, I'll ease off the gas. I'll ease off the gas if I start noticing that my client starts doing a little bit of psychotherapy or starts doing a little bit of day-to-day kind of discussion in session. But if I notice that it's happening too much, not too much. If it's happening like week after week, then I'll start circling back. Like, wait, but does this tie into our main issue? Does this tie into our main goals? Or I'll say, hey, well, what about our main goals? We haven't talked about that in a bit. Do you want to spend maybe a session talking about that today? I'll do something like that. So that's the concept of psychotherapy. I hope you found this informative. Make sure to hit the like button, subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.